Welcome back, my tasty beer nuts, and thanks for joining me again today. I've had a fun week. I don't know about you. I got to do some fun things. Thursday night, I volunteered with Dominion City. They had their night brunch where they pair up with amazing chefs in Ottawa to create a dinner, and with the proceeds going to schools for breakfast programs. So over the last 3 years, they've raised over $15,000 through this, which is amazing. The food was phenomenal. If you ever get a chance to go to one of these events, either this one, they do it every, I guess, April, and then they do Make It Grain in the fall. The best food you can get. Highly recommend it. It's for a great cause. I'm sure other breweries do them similarly as well. You're going to get the best food, have a great time, and raising money for great causes. So just a note on that. The star meal was the chicken and waffles. I think all the volunteers, we got a chance to have some of that as well. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So hats off to the chefs who worked on all those meals. They were all of the courses were fantastic, but that one just really stood out. So as a bonus for volunteering, we got to get a few beers to take home with us. Two Flags IPA. This is one of two Dominion beers that are actually available in LCBOs. The other one is the Town and Country Blonde Ale. Now, Dominion City is the beer that has turned me back on to IPAs. Their Sunsplit, freaking amazing. Fidelis, again. So I actually have not even tried this one yet, oddly enough. But seeing this is one I got for volunteering, I thought it'd be a great opportunity to try it. It's a kicker. It's a 7%. They actually don't have the IBUs on here, but apparently it's well balanced, deliberately well balanced, highly drinkable. Ontario hops, bright copper color, strong citrus. Flavors include burnt sugar, grapefruit, and lingering resin. So hopefully I catch on some of these. I am suffering from spring allergies, so my sense of smell is unfortunately not as good as it usually is, but if it's as strong as they claim, it should still come through. So let's, enough talking, start pouring, see what we're in for. So there's your nice copper color. Head on, it's quite nice, a little off-white. Fairly tightly packed bubbles. And they seem to be sticking around a fair amount of time. You do see some of the carbonation coming up the sides as well. So let's see if I can actually smell this. Sorry, I just keep sniffling here. So let's see what I can do. I want to say wet grass. That typical IPA scent is there. Piney, for sure. Getting a bit of the citrus as well. So I am still getting a little bit, there's a lot of smell there if I'm still able to smell it. And that's kind of what they're telling you with this one anyways. So let's see if I can taste this. Right away I get like a tang that covers my mouth, and that dissipates fairly quickly. Let's go. You get the bitterness that lingers on the back of the tongue, and that's where I learned that bitterness is usually centered is on the back of the tongue, so that makes sense. I'm trying to get it on the front of my tongue to see if I can pick up on the sweetness that they're talking about, the burnt sugars. there's definitely something on the front, like near the front of the tongue. I know there's something, but I can't put my nose on it because of my allergies, but there's a full flavor there. If you like a full flavored IPA, you really enjoy this. It may, on a day where I don't have allergies, be a little too much for me. It's just not something that works for my palate. If you love a good hoppy IPA, then this is truly a good one for you. A note on that, I found out I was at my local licensed grocery store the other day, and I happened to be talking to the buyer for the store, and he was mentioning, because I stopped there and he was, asked if he could help me find anything. And I was like, oh no, I'm just looking what's new. And so he pointed out a couple new things, and I asked how he chose the beers to go into a store, and kind of goes with sales from LCBO and whatnot. But if you have a beer that you would like brought into either your local grocery store, licensed one obviously, or your local LCBO, you just need to talk to the buyer. And if it's available in the LCBO, anywhere in Ontario, they should be able to get it to you where you are. So if you're in Toronto and you want to try this, the Two Flags or the Town and Country, just get in touch with your local buyer from your LCBO or grocery store, and they should be able to bring that in. Same goes with other ones that I've talked about. The Kolsch from Orleans Brewing, Whitewater Farmer's Daughter. Those are all LCBO beers. So don't be afraid to ask. They want to be there to help out the consumers. So yeah, that just reminded me that you could do that. I found out about that a couple years ago, but that was kind of a recall of that's something you can do. Other than that, what's going on? For those in the Ottawa area, you've probably heard that our baseball team, the Ottawa Champions, will no longer be carrying Kitchen City beer. Their contract was up, and they decided that it was no longer a good business deal for them to continue. They want to invest elsewhere. So Ottawa Champions have brought in Molson Coors. So because they're a bigger company, they can invest more, and it doesn't hurt them as much as, let's say, a smaller craft brewery. The amount that they're investing doesn't necessarily bring back as much as they would need. But Molson is saying they will still carry craft beer, which in this case is Creemore and Granville Island, which are part of Molson. So that brings me to the question that I really want to hear about in the comments. I want to know what you think about a craft beer that is owned by one of these big companies like Molson Coors or Anheuser-Busch. Is it still a craft beer, or is it just part of the big chain now? What is your definition of a craft beer for something like this? Is Creemore still a craft beer to you? Same with Granville Island? Or is it really just the independents that are considered craft beer? I'd love to hear your comments, so please leave those down below, or you can check out my post on Facebook on that. Comment on there as well. So I think I've chatted quite enough for today. I'm going to go and drink this 7% beer on this lovely Sunday night. April is almost done. May is around the corner. I can't wait. Because that means beer festivals are almost here as well. On that note, yeah, I'm getting the resin. I just, and I got that bitterness back in my mouth. So that clearly sticks around a really long time. Yeah, this beer is not for me. Not to say that it's not a good beer. Not at all. Just it's too much for me. But I can see how someone who really likes the whole hoppy beers would enjoy this. So on that note, to you, have a great weekend, and I will see you in my next video. Cheers.